Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtress Ray. You're watching Mixtress Video. So all day I was thinking that I was going to do a pick-a-pile reading today, but, oh, I forgot to light incense. Hold on. Okay. It's going to be out of shot so you can't see what I'm doing because I have a new spot for my incense and it's in the window. But I have my little tea light candle lit, also out of shot, next to my Kali photo. Because I'm getting, okay, so I don't know about you all, but the summer solstice energy. Here, I'll let you see the incense for a second. We'll just clear the space with it a bit. So the summer solstice energy, I have noticed, it's kind of exciting, it's kind of exhilarating, it's feeling like good vibes, but it's vibes of change and it's vibes of like really moving shit out. Like I have been, to almost in a compulsive extent, because this is how I get. I love getting shit out of my life. And okay, so here's how it started. I still haven't picked a deck that I want to use yet. Because okay, so just so you know, this is not going to be a pick-a-pile reading. It's going to be a collective reading. I mean, it'll probably be you know what I want to use? I want to use Crow Tarot. Haven't used my Crow Tarot yet. This was a gift from Grace, this is a knockoff, but it was like a friend of hers gave it to her. A friend of hers had ordered it from Amazon and got a knockoff, which that's actually happened to me once before too. So whatever, it's a deck. It's shuffleable, unlike the actual Crow Tarot. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm just gonna babble for a minute. It's gonna be a collective reading. So I've heard, some people are feeling this energy right now as being very frenetic, like something's going on right now in a bad way. I'm seeing it as more a positive thing. I need to figure out how I'm going to sit so that I can shuffle comfortably with the tripod. So here's what I'm feeling it as an exciting energy, but it is also an energy, I don't know about you all, but it's making me want to eject everything from my life right now. Like I'm looking around me and I'm seeing just like crap everywhere. I'm feeling very like closed in by my stuff. I'm feeling like I have to like move things out of the way constantly. It's some crazy ass energy. But I think it's ultimately a good thing, but advice has been given to me literally right before I pressed record not to get rid of anything yet. Just sit still for a minute, let this energy die down. I mean, if you got to move things into your sort of donation box, do what you got to do if that makes you feel like you're getting it closer to being out of your house, but just don't let go of it yet. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Don't let go of it yet. That's probably pretty good advice. So I don't know what this reading's going to end up being, but it's, I did for my patrons today, I did a spread similar where I actually did 4 cards on top and then 4 cards on bottom, and it was mind versus body. So let's just get like a little bit of a portrait of this energy here. So it's going to be 7 cards. Okay. So how this started for me personally was that I went to an estate sale about a week ago, and I was just, this is the same kind of energy that like I have noticed every time I go to something like that. Thrift stores, estate sales, antique, garage sales, antique places, like all of that puts me in a similar mindset of, I just start thinking about how much fucking crap we all accumulate as human beings, and how little and how much I want to avoid that in my own life. I want everything I have to be something that I actually use and or find to be beautiful, I want to care about the things in my life. I don't want, that sort of idea of Swedish death cleaning is a term that I didn't even know until I think I had heard it maybe, but I didn't know what it was until the last week. And it's basically, the idea is that you do a huge decluttering in your life with the idea that you don't want those that come after you, particularly if you have children, which I do not, but you don't want those that come after you to have to, upon your death, have to clear out all your shit. And especially when it's shit that didn't really mean anything to you, if it was stuff that you thought you'd get around to later or whatever. And lately I've been feeling so overwhelmed. I pick up a book and all I can think about are all the other books that I could be reading right now. I pick up a tarot deck and all I think about is all the other tarot decks I could be using right now. And I think that that's an issue that is frequent for me in general, but right now that energy is fucking extra. So this is just a little bit of an acknowledgement that if you're going through that too, you're not alone. Actually move this up a little bit. Okay. So let's start flipping these. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. We've got the 7 of Swords. We've got the Moon card. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the 5. I'm guessing this is Wands. It's got to be, because those are not swords. Okay. And this is a new deck to me, so okay, so I'm viewing this because this is the only major arcana card. I'm viewing this as sort of our portrait of the moment right now. We are in a moon moment. We are, if you're viewing this sort of as a shadow thing, then you're picking up the stone, you're seeing all the little skittering things underneath the rock, right? We are shedding light on those things right now. And that is very much what I'm feeling at the moment, as I'm feeling like I'm just suddenly I'm back in my body again, and I'm looking around my life going, what the fuck? What the fuck is all this shit? Why do I have all this shit? What's going on? And it doesn't necessarily mean that any of my items need to go necessarily, but I need to better organize them. I need to better categorize them. I need to use what I've got. It's sort of I've been thinking lately, there's all these books that I haven't read. I don't have that many. I'm not actually a person that buys a lot of books because I work in a library, but that's just one example. There's all these books that I haven't read. There's all these tarot decks that I haven't quite wrapped my head around. Right here, you can't see it, but you can hear it. I have this little bag of runes. I have a whole set of runes, and I don't really know how to use runes. I don't even have a book on runes. I have a Lenormand deck, and I've never tried to learn anything about Lenormand. I've been spending, and I know a lot of people are in the same boat, I've been spending a lot of time accumulating things to learn about, to entertain myself with. And it feels very much like the moment before a person decides to do a depth year, that kind of thing. And in the original sense of actually intending to go deep into the things you already have in your life. If I didn't buy another thing for the rest of 2022, I probably wouldn't necessarily need another thing for the rest of 2022. you know? Anyway, that's just babbling. That's just me talking about what I'm feeling at the moment. So let's redirect back to these cards here. So if we're seeing the top tier as like what's going on in our minds, and the bottom tier, what's going on in our bodies / in reality, then we're seeing like, and this is something that I've definitely been feeling, like at this moment right now, I am very much obsessing about the lineage, like what is my relationship to things and money, and how much of that did I inherit from my mom? How much of that is going to get worse in our society because of the intense capitalism we're in right now? Like the only meaning we're finding we're looking for meaning in the wrong places, you know? We're looking for meaning in acquisition of things, and that's not going to help us. So this is the mindset of like, what history are we repeating? What are we setting up for future generations? What are we inheriting from our parents? Just realized that this is like, it might be the same tree in these two cards. That's interesting. So if that's what's happening in our minds, what's really happening? What's really happening is, the way that I'm seeing this is this Knight of Pentacles, I'm trying to like name cards more often because I spend a lot of time listening to YouTube videos, like while I'm at work, shelving cards of books. And I always wish people would be a little bit more descriptive for people that aren't watching, which is silly because that's not what YouTube is for. But anyway, I'm going to try to get better about it myself anyway. So if what is happening is we're worried about the legacy, if what is happening in our minds is we're worried about the legacy that we're leaving behind, we're worried about like what is being set up, what are we repeating from our ancestors, what things are we perpetuating, you know? Are we uncomfortable with 10 of Pentacles? Are we uncomfortable with having some semblance of wealth and health? And I think what this is meaning for me, this Knight of Pentacles, is I've just lately been thinking about like the evolution of humanity. And it's like, it's just absurd. It's absurd to me that like we think that we're these sort of like higher thinking beings. We think that we are capable of abstract thought. We think that we are intelligent, sentient beings. However, we're in these primitive vessels, you know? We're still animals. We're still like fighting on the internet. We're not evolving as quickly as we think we should be. And part of that is just the actual limitations of humanity, of human beings. We're like in a transition right now, I feel. And by right now, I mean like, you know, for generations, we will be in a transition where like I don't know how to articulate this. We're like too smart for the capabilities that we actually have. We need to accept our limitations. We need to accept that we are all just a bunch of fucking monkeys. As much as I hate monkeys, I have to admit it's true. We're a bunch of fucking monkeys. We're a bunch of fucking primates. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. And we're limited by that. Like, we can't think ourselves out of what we are, you know? Life is going to progress in the way that it's going to progress. And like, you know, we just need to simplify. You know, we cannot hold everything within us. We cannot hold the knowledge of humanity. We cannot hold the news that is happening all around the world. We can't even like get along with each other on social media. You know, things in reality are moving slowly. It's going to take generations to make any fucking headway. And then let's go on to this next little sector, whatever this means. I'm taking this as a portrait of where we are right now. So another aspect of it is we think everyone's lying to us. So the Seven of Swords, we think the whole thing about Seven of Swords is it's Schrodinger's cat, right? Like, you don't know if the cat's alive or dead. You will never know if this crow is stealing these swords, or if it's taking back what's rightfully theirs. We won't know that. And the point is not to know the answer, not to know the truth. The point is to accept that we can't ever know. So here we are thinking everybody's lying to us, when the reality is someone's trying to present us with the truth. Like, let's say this is the Queen of Swords here is representing our ghost guides and goddesses, or whatever higher form of intelligence or higher version of yourself, or whatever that energy means for you, is trying to show us the truth. This Queen of Swords is trying to show us the truth, but we can't even fucking interpret it. All we see is this. All we see is, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And we think we need to know all the information. We think that will clarify it for us. But in reality, we don't have what it takes to understand. I don't know. I feel like this doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I'm just going with the energy right now. And then another aspect of it is, like, in our minds, we're just trying to juggle all this shit, right? We're trying to keep everything in the air, but we cannot calm everyone. Everybody, the fighting means that we're alive. I really do see the Five of Wands as ultimately a good thing. Like, it's usually like petty little fights, yes, but petty little fights need to be had so that the bigger fights don't break out, The petty little fights, you got to speak up whenever you've got petty shit to fight about, before it gets so big that you can't even open your mouth anymore, So all of the petty fighting on the internet, like, a lot of it really is very destructive and awful, and you just got to get the fuck away from it. But a large portion of it is pretty innocuous. And if you don't give in to it, in the sense of, if you don't join in when it's like name calling and actual malice, but you join in whenever there's, I think we need to find a way, we being society in general, humanity in general, we need to find a way to fight more productively. I think that's part of it. So I don't know, is this a collective reading, or is it just me throwing cards and talking about shit I've been thinking about? I guess, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Sure. Okay. I'm gonna clear these, and then because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I'm just gonna ask the cards, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm just gonna pull a couple cards for what the fuck are we talking about, and then I'll know how to move forward with this, whatever this is. Getting into smaller decks, and I've never really liked smaller decks, but lately I've been enjoying them. Especially if I can fucking shuffle them. Okay, what the fuck are we talking about? Okay. What the fuck we talking about? Okay, we got Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, and Knight of Pentacles. So that tells me that I was hitting on the right thing whenever I was talking about, like, humanity is not ready for what we think we're ready for. We think we're smarter than we actually are. We think that we can control the universe, and we can't. And that's Hierophant vibes as well. Like, we think that we can control things with spirituality. We think that we can control things with beliefs. We think that we can shape our universe based on rules and systems, but the world is, nature is chaos. Nature is entropy. We can't control shit. We got to serenity prayer that shit. We got to accept that there's this whole vast ocean of things that we cannot control. And just fucking ride the wave, man. I sound like such a stoner. I haven't smoked any pot today, I promise. Not that it would be bad if I did. Ace of Pentacles. So this tells me that what we're talking about is our actual, this is just going back to like our actual physical limitations. It looks like this pentacle is broken. I can't tell if it's supposed to be broken or if it's just the claw of the crow. It might just be that. We all have physical limitations in the sense of like we actually might have some particular physical limitations, but we also just, as human beings, there's only so much we can do. There's only so much we can withstand. There's only so much we can control, manipulate. It's just, we think we can control everything. I think I can, even just like me obsessing over my house and what I have in it and how I arrange all of my items is a way of me feeling like I have control when I don't. Moving things over just perfectly, just so it's completely centered and gorgeous is a way for me to control my space and feel like I have influence over reality when in reality I have no fucking control. Barely any. Okay, so what do we do about that then? This is not I'm not here to make y'all feel like, holy shit, we have no control, everything's chaos. That's not what I'm here for. So I'm going to use my Magic and Medicine of Plants deck. I just got my own copy, guys. I hadn't had my own copy of my goddamn Oracle deck. And I found out that they have a new cardstock on Make Playing Cards. Okay, I have to show you. I was going to try not to point it out, but you guys are going to notice. Do you see? It's like textured. It's recycled paper. And it's textured and it has like kind of paper pulp running through it. And it's just natural. Like it's different on every card. It's not an effect. It doesn't really have, there's not really any finish on the cards. So I just got this deck yesterday and I'm thinking that it's not going to hold up super well. So it's not available yet. Like if you click on the link that's in my description, if you are interested in this Oracle deck, you will get, it's on like smooth cardstock. It's not on this, but I really like this. It adds such a beautiful effect to my deck, but I'm thinking the cardstock's not going to hold up super well, so I'm going to use it for a while before I make it available for you guys in this cardstock. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're not here to sell shit. Although I do have links in my description for readings and my Oracle deck, and I never promote myself though. Okay, so what can we do about this? Okay, like I want to turn to nature. So I think I'm going to pull a card from this deck, a card from my Feathered Omens, maybe a card from my crystal deck, maybe an animal card. I want to turn to nature. That's what I've been doing more and more lately anyway, is turning to nature. Like, because if you go outside, I mean, it's real fucking hot where I live right now, so it's not super advisable to go outside in the daytime, but if you can go somewhere where all you're doing is listening to the birds and, you're not on social media, you're not trying to do any particular task. You're just allowing yourself to be in the world. You'll realize real quick, everything's fine. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is unfolding just fine. Everything's fine. That nature is harmonizing itself. It's slipping into chaos and order and disorder and back to order again the way that it should be. And if we trust those cycles, if we go with that flow, we'll be okay. And I sound like, such a new age fucking hippie and whatever. I'm into delusional optimism. It's my thing. I'm not going to apologize for it. If you're coming to me for a reading, you are going to get beautiful messages, because I'm going to view every fucking little moment of chaos and destruction as an opportunity. I'm going to find ways to look at, I am a delusional optimist, and that is what I do, and I'm not gonna fucking feel bad about it. I'm just trying to get through this life. I'm just trying to have a good time and be happy. Oh, which one of these is the right one? It's this one. Okay, so we've got an animal spirit card, we've got a plant card. Let's do an eternal crystals. Haven't used this one in a bit. I haven't had it that long, but I haven't used it in like a week or two. So this is going to be, these cards on the bottom here are going to be, how can we take some control? How can we accept where we are? How can we enjoy the ride? And then I'm also going to pull a Feathered Omens card, just because I love birds, and I'm obsessed with birds right now. So what is our bird spirit going to be? And we could end up with two bird spirits. I haven't flipped that animal card yet. It could be a bird. Who knows? But we're going to get a bird one way or another. And I just saw a finch. I'm not good enough to know what kind of finch yet, but I just saw a finch a second ago outside my window. So that's part of it too. Okay, here's our Feathered Omens card. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see what we got. Goose. Pursue your quest. You might as well. You might as well do whatever the fuck makes you happy, because we have no control over anything anyway. And none of this shit is serious. It's like we spend so much of our lives trying to do the right thing, trying to, we should be doing this, we should be doing this. And like, everything is like, we have these preset parameters that we have like these little, I'm thinking of like the way that light moves through like an electrode path inside of a computer. It's like we can't deviate. We're these wild animals, and we're trying to fit ourselves into these binary boxes in society, and it's not fucking working, guys. Okay, so our animal spirit is fish. Go with your flow. And that was a message that I got in my Patreon reading as well. It's about accepting where you are right now. Accepting, this is just day-to-day living. Some days you're going to have the energy to do all of the chores, plus some you didn't even put on your list. Those days when you get so much done that at the end of the day you write down things that you did just so you can check them off? Some days are going to be like that, and other days are going to be like, I'm not even getting out of bed today. Sorry about it. And being able to not only forgive yourself for those ebbs and flows, but also just to know that that's coming, to accept that as part of the process, to just be like, okay, what do I got today? I got an energy level of 3. Okay, cool. What can I do with a 3? Whereas tomorrow you might have an energy level of 8. What can I do with an 8? Or some days you're going to have the energy, but you're just going to decide not to do it anyway. And that's fine. We don't have to like just be fucking productive all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? And then we have hematite here as well. Mental strength and root chakra. So hematite is, as far as like what the stone is actually about, I don't know much about it other than it being connected to root chakra means it's pretty grounding, means it's pretty earthy, and any dark stone like that is going to be super earthy. So it can be, I would assume that hematite would be connected to protection, magic, and grounding. It's like everything that we're going through right now is in order to bring us back to ourselves, in order to bring us back into our bodies. Let's just read what the guidebook has to say about that. Why not? Because you're not supposed to do that during a reading? Fuck off. Okay. Hematite. It's time for you to ground your energy. You need to recenter yourself to regain balance in your life. Take time today to care for your mental and physical health. Blah, blah, blah. Alleviate stress by consciously choosing to have more fun, get creative, and be active. Try different things, enjoy new experiences. Hematite is associated with the root chakra and is known as the stone of the mind. So it's interesting that it would be known as the stone of the mind, but it's also associated with the root chakra. Okay, cool, whatever. To help ground yourself, you may like to wear hematite bracelet, hematite crystal. I mean, like, if you're like me, I have some old school piercing jewelry. I actually have 5 rings in my ears that have those hematite captive balls in them. They've been there for, I don't know, 20 years? Close to it, maybe? They've been in my head. Those little captive balls have stayed right in there. Now that I've said that, they're gonna fall out. Knock on shelf. Okay. So, hematite is with me at all times. Maybe I've got too much mental strength. Anyway, because I'm thinking all the time. Heartsickle / cornflower. Slay what ails you. So this is just, you know, I think it's just kind of like when you've got the mental capacity to fight battles, fight them. But on the days that you don't. Days that you don't have what it takes to, you know, take up arms figuratively in your life, then don't fucking do it. You don't have to be like on top of shit all the time. And even if you were on top of shit all the time, you're not going to be able to control the universe. You're just not. Go after what you love in life. Slay when you have the energy to do so. And that's it. I don't know. This feels like me just sitting around talking and not really doing anything. So I'm going to put these cards away. And what else can we talk about? I guess we can just pull some more tarot here. Because I am going to have to stop recording soon because there's no air conditioning in this room. So I'm not going to be able to record for a long time before I've got sweat dripping down my pit. And I don't feel like it right now. I showered today, damn it. Okay. What are our final messages? I feel like I'm still just wondering, like, what the fuck is this about? What about people that are kind of where I am right now? Where I just want to get rid of all my earthly possessions and just, like, fucking sit outside with a beer and just flip off the universe, you know? What's our advice? I can tell you the song for this moment is Waltz by Fiona Apple. Go out and sit on the lawn and do nothing because it's just what you must do and nobody does it anymore. great philosopher, Fiona Apple. Queen of Swords, Three of Swords, Ace of Wands. This is kind of encouraging me to go with because I definitely see the Three of Swords as a very sacred cutting off, cutting ties with people that aren't respecting your boundaries, cutting shit out of your life, ejecting shit from your life that you just don't want to fucking look at anymore, Let it go. Doesn't matter if someone you love gave it to you. You're not getting rid of them by getting rid of an object that they gave you. And I mean, like, a good friend is going to understand if they give you a gift. Like, if I ever give you something, just so y'all know, if I ever give you a gift, please know that as soon as that shit is staring at you in a confrontational way, chuck it. As Grace says, roll it up and smoke it for all I care. Ace of Wands. So this is kind of telling me that, like, when you see the truth about something, when suddenly a thing tells you that it needs to be ejected from your life, go ahead and do it. And then wake up the next day with a new goal. What's next? Not as in, like, since I've been relating this to, like, personal possessions, not as in, like, what's next, as in what can I bring into my house next, but just like what's next in life. You'll be able to freeing up your earthly possessions will declutter your path, so you can actually move. I think a lot of us are paralyzing ourselves. We are literally, like, collecting shit around us to paralyze us and to keep us immobile. It's a way of, like, I feel like I'm talking like a fucking, I don't know, 20-year-old white guy with dreadlocks right now or something. Which I personally, let me just say, I am a white person, so maybe I shouldn't get to have an opinion on this, but I don't think, everybody's hair dreads, man. If you don't brush it, it's gonna dread. I don't have an issue with that, but you know the person I'm talking about. I just feel like it's an opiate of the masses, sitting around buying things and spending all of our time, shopping for things and trying to improve our surroundings by the things that we buy and put in our surroundings is just a way to keep us anesthetized, right? It's a way to keep us calm, a way to keep us quiet. And if we clear that path, we'll be able to move freely again. Because we're not these beings that can actually, like Candy said in a recent video, she said, like, if I was truly going to read all of the books that I have and and really get to know all of the tarot decks that I have, I wouldn't even be around long enough to do that, and it's getting to that point with a lot of us. We have so much stuff that we can't even wrap our heads around it. And that's a problem for me personally, because I have to be able to wrap my head around the stuff that I have. When I went to that estate sale recently, it was just so depressing to me because I was looking at, like, you see, this is a common thing too. Like, if you go to things like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, there were, like, boxes full of VHS tapes that hadn't even been taken out of the wrapping. They'd never been watched. They were produced and manufactured and they came into existence and then they weren't used. And I don't know what my deal is. Like, I feel like I have a spiritual connection with things. I really do. And if something is not getting love, if something is not getting use, I can't have it around me. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with you if that's not the way that you feel, because I don't know how to not feel like that. That's how I feel. That's how I relate to objects. And so therefore I have to cull, not only with tarot decks, but just with everything in my life. I have to cull. I have to do it frequently. It's like a part of my fucking spirituality. That's why I have the 3 of Swords tattooed on my body. This is a part of my spirituality. This is a part of who I am. I have to put those knives through. I have to cut things out. And I can't have things in wrappers, you know? There's nothing in my house that's still in the fucking box. I can't do it. I can't. And, you know, I've said before, I've bought, you know, things on eBay that were still in the box, you know, from things that are 20 years old, 30 years old, whatever. And I'm like, God bless you nerds that don't open, that keep your things in boxes so that you can sell them later. God bless you that you exist. But I cannot. I don't even I feel yucky if I don't deal with something immediately. And again, this is just me. This is just how I live my life. This is my fucking astrology or whatever. I know a lot of people aren't like this, but like if I get something in the mail, it's got to come out of the box. All of the packaging has to be like recycled or set aside if I can reuse the box. And all the trash has to be dealt with. All the recyclables have to be put in the recycling. Like just yesterday, I got a new pop figure. You want to see her? Why not? Since we're just talking at this point. I got an Elvira pop figure. Isn't she beautiful? She's got a heart in her hand and blood dripping down her arm. Gorgeous. Love her. This is what I was gonna have a, my plan all day was to have a pick-a-pile reading, and you were gonna get to choose between 3 different pop figures, one of them being Elvira. But that's not what ended up happening. I'll probably do it again someday, but I just, you know, I didn't want to do a pick-a-pile, I just wanted to talk, so here we are. Here we are now, entertain us. So, just yesterday, I'm like, it's late in the evening, and I'm cutting out, look, it's Elvira, love her so much, Bio Queen of my heart. So I'm like cutting things out of the box that I want to keep to use for collage materials or whatever, and like I have to do that. I have to do that. I have to utilize things immediately. And there's so much, I think me personally this has just become yet another fucking tarot deck collecting rant. That's all I fucking talk about. I should just rename my channel to Tarot Deck Collecting Philosophies. That's why I just can't with fucking collections. It's been bad for me. I can't have collections of things. It's bad for me because when I have collections of things, I'm constantly obsessing about them. Are they the right things? Did I choose the right things? Is this the right version of this particular deck? Is there another version of it available? In the case of Crow Tarot, I've never actually owned it because I stopped myself from buying the real version because the cardstock is so fucking thick and those cards are huge. And I didn't like it. And so I'm really happy that a knockoff came into my life. And, you know, I do feel bad that the creator didn't get money for this particular deck, but the person that originally bought it from Amazon. So she wasn't doing anything wrong. This is what happened. This was how it transpired, you know? Anyway, and just thinking about so much stuff whenever the reality is this tarot deck exists. Therefore, it needs to be used. It's not my fault that it exists, and I want to use it. So done, you know? And that's how I feel about objects. If it's in existence, it's almost like I think of objects as, I give them sentience almost. Because I want everything to get use and love, and it literally breaks my heart to see like a VHS tape still in its wrapping. Like we've actually, and part of it is because we have become curators, you know, just as a society. We buy things and then we think to ourselves, is this going to be worth something later? What if I don't want this forever? And then we leave it in the fucking package. And yeah, maybe someday we make money on the damn thing. I don't know if she's going to stand if I put her right here. But I kind of want to have her on the side because I need to obsessively control my universe. I want her to be here. Okay. All right. I'm okay now. See? I am disturbed. I am like, I might even have like OCD. I don't know. Because I feel like I have to obsessively control everything in my environment. And it includes tarot. Anyway, the point, and y'all know I don't have one. I don't even know why I started a sentence with the point, because I don't have one. I really don't. I'm just trying to work out my shit, and I'm trying to sort through the energy. And what I'm feeling right now, the day after the summer solstice, what I'm feeling right now is I'm feeling exhilarated. I'm feeling ready to, you know, shed my skin and move on down a simplified path. I really do. I don't even know what the action is going to be, but I want to simplify my life. I want to be not a minimalist, but because that's not me. I like to surround myself with beauty, and that includes objects. I do sort of have a spiritual relationship to the objects in my life. I care about them. I want to use them. I want to appreciate them. I want them to be curated, and I want them to be beautiful and useful, and it's very important to me. I'm not going to be a minimalist, but I want to utilize what I have. I get like sort of a perverse satisfaction when I like finish something, you know, when it comes to like consumables. I probably shouldn't feel this way, but whenever I like finish a tube of toothpaste and I've squeezed every tiny little drop out of that thing, I throw it away with such glee. You know, it's like, I am done with this. Just today, I had just like this cheap pair of flip-flops that I bought like 2 summers ago, that I was just like, I was desperate. I needed some flip-flops, and I bought like, you know, a fucking $2 pair of flip-flops or whatever, which in general, I don't like doing things like that. I actually like to pay a little bit more for things that are actually going to last. But in this instance, I didn't. And so I've had these crappy flip-flops, and I only ever wear them to the pool. That is it. They're not functional in any other way. They're just to keep my feet from burning on concrete. That is it. And today they did that thing the flip-flops do, you know, where it totally just, the whole foam or whatever cracks, and it just flips right off your foot, and you no longer, it's done. It is done done. So I just picked him up, and I defiantly, victoriously threw them in the trash. That is it for those flip-flops. I have used them until they are no longer useful. That is what I want to do with objects. I don't like to collect things to donate to thrift stores. Not because I love giving things. I love spreading things out. I love sending things on if they can still be useful to someone else. But the reality is there's so much of that stuff that thrift stores are not even able to you know, half the time they have to ship things off to other places. It's not actually that economic or environmentally. It doesn't actually get to the people that need it. It's not super efficient because we have so much fucking stuff that we need to stop saying yes to everything. If we're not going to use it, don't say yes. And that goes for me too. Like, I need to learn this. And I don't really want to donate things. I want to use things until the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? I want everything in my life to be fiercely loved. And it's a difficult life to lead whenever you're constantly getting, I mean, this is a great thing overall. Like, we're constantly giving each other gifts in this culture, but it's whether or not we want them. We're expected to take them. I feel very burdened by, like, family members in my life that are just like, they just want to let go of something so badly and they don't know what to do with it, so they just like force a family member to take it, you know? And it's like, no. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just, this is the energy that I'm in right now. I'm very much in this Three of Swords space, and it's a space that I feel comfortable in. It's a space that I feel exhilarated by. It's, you know, and for you, this might be manifesting differently. Maybe you're ready to quit your job. Maybe you're ready to break up a relationship. Maybe you're ready to cut out a friend that has just really not been a very good friend for a long time. You know, this could be manifesting in a lot of different ways. For me personally, it's manifesting in my acquisition of shit, how I'm dealing with all of this stuff in my life, what I want to do with it, what I want to surround myself with, because I want everything that I surround myself with to be, I want to feel incredible joy when I look at my objects. And I definitely have that with a lot of things in my life. With most of the things in my life, it's either useful or it's beautiful. And it's, you know, it makes me incredibly happy to have it. But in order for me to be happy that I have something, a lot of fucking criteria has to be met. Like, an obsessive level of criteria has to be met for me to be happy with something. You know, it's ridiculous, but it's who I am. So I just need to lean into it. You know, there's no point in, like, wasting your life trying to be something that you're not. And I am fucking, you know, I am a fucking Three of Swords, Queen of Swords, Kali motherfucker. You know, I'm this chick holding a heart in her hands with the blood dripping down. You know, like, I'm not supposed to be, I'm not for everybody. I'm not. And I don't know what I'm saying anymore, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. And thank you for listening, and I really appreciate you if you made it this long. Live long and prosper, my friends.